Shit. So let it start. So this and by the way, I was just waiting for the. I've noticed when I start recording, if I talk instantly, it clips basically.
Asking them to open the door because he's concerned
There's
that children.
There's a clip that's gone up of some nut and home invader situation, and unfortunately, even Asmongold isn't really taking it with the degree of seriousness that it truly deserves.
Are being abused on the other side. The thing is, people are,
and of course, some of what I have to say isn't particularly serious, but also just be good to yourself and to your own head, because I mean, if you buy into a lot of this shit, this could be you someday.
Half of the video, they're only watching the part where he tries to break the door down and gain entry into the house. The other half of the video, he actually did gain entry to the house and was arrested. Now, we want to
hold on. That's oh no. Okay, here we go.
This video, because this is a great example of the long-term effects of conspiracy theories. This is basically a video of a Pizzagate scenario happening in real time, where someone is accusing someone of a crime. There's no evidence of the crime, but this guy is just convinced of it. And we can see in the video there's actual consequences here.
Open the door, please.
For what?
I just want, just wanted to say, as a Demon Slayer person who watches it, I do not claim him.
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just figured I'd check on something.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this fucking door. Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
What are you talking about?
Where's your daughter? Who's in there with you?
Bro, if you don't
open this fucking door. Open this door, I'm breaking it fucking down. You understand me?
Leave my house. You don't...
Are you okay? Is everyone in this house okay?
What? Everyone's okay. What do you want?
Channel. So we're all about perspective on this channel. So let's get the perspective of everyone involved. First, let's put ourselves in the shoes of the guy inside the house. You're just chilling in your house, and out of nowhere, this guy starts knocking on your door, asking about where your daughter is, demanding to be let inside. And had this happened 20 years ago, people would react very differently. But in this moment in time, for this type of behavior, this is a, oh shit, I need to grab my gun moment. The homeowner doesn't know if this guy has a weapon. He's obviously very unstable. And this is where we see a real side effect of conspiracy theories: paranoia. Now, don't get it twisted. Jeffrey Epstein is an evil, sadistic person. And he did have an organized group of people who exploited the powerful and the rich, who abused underage girls, and who also had a blackmail ring. All of those things are true. But once you start buying into these ideas that the Democrats are devil worshippers, or all of these people are part of a cabal, it doesn't take long for the paranoia to kick in, and for this guy, if we're putting ourselves in his perspective, to see the devil worshippers and demons everywhere. Let's keep going, because he's about to reveal his identity.
Can you leave my house, please?
You open the door, please.
You have nothing to do with my house. Can you leave my house?
You know what my name is?
I don't know who you are. You don't belong in this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker.
I have to imagine it isn't.
Open the door. This is my neighborhood. Open the fucking door. Now, or I will fucking end you. Do you understand me?
Okay, so now we're seeing it escalate even further. He begins threatening the guy, telling him he's going to end him. He identifies himself as Harry Dresden. And so it's worth noting here, this is a fictional character from a cartoon series, and Harry Dresden is a magician detective. The character wears a trench coat. And I mean, rule number one of the hood is you don't wear flip-flops to a fight.
Well, I've learned something from this channel. Love it.
As we begin to take in this bigger picture, that he's identifying himself as a fictional character, that reality, conspiracy theories, and cartoons are all blending together for this guy, and that this guy is experiencing a mental health crisis. And this is where people on the right are making fun of him, not seeing the seriousness of these outcomes. Again, once he went all in on the conspiracy theory, he started seeing his enemies everywhere, part of paranoia. And if he was MAGA, we don't know if he was, but if he was, he's been gaslit and betrayed over and over again. This is easily one outcome of that experience. People crash out in all different ways. Now, there was a lot...
This has become the term... crashing out.
A lot of speculation whether this video was real, whether this was all just an act for clicks. And it's when you see the next video, when you see him actually breaking into the guy's house, when you see the police arrive, when you hear the click of the handcuffs, that it becomes even more real. And this is disappointing when people on the right, Asmund Gold, for example, reacted to this. He's not taking this as serious as it should be. And you could clearly see the problems here. This guy has abandoned critical thinking, went all in on conspiracies, getting the side effects and long-term outcomes of paranoia, and he's taking action on these ideas. Again, without the tools to be able to say, wait a second, this is probably a bad idea. This guy might not be the person I think he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, what we're witnessing here is like semi-functional, based on what we saw, schizophrenia, almost, that's almost what it looks like, is somebody that's like half lucid but schizophrenic.
Maybe I should just call the police instead of trying to knock down the door. And if I do break into this house, maybe I would get arrested. Either way.
Yeah, we have seen, unfortunately, a lot of a rise in vigilante violence, and I wanted to say about that although ultimately I understand the anger that drives a lot of it, and especially towards somebody like, Brian Thompson and the healthcare CEO. I don't think the long-term consequences of having a bunch of armed vigilantes running wild are healthy or good for society. And if you think about it, if continued violence is necessary, then that means that effectively it's not getting the results, and it's not managing to change things the way that we would hope that it would ultimately. And so the tactic isn't working. And unfortunately, the thing about violence is that once people start going down that rabbit hole, they start seeing every problem as a nail, basically, where that can be solved, with
the hammer, and in this metaphor, the hammer is violence, and the nail would be the victim.
Let's see what happens when he gets inside.
Awkward pauses.
Where the fuck is she?
I just wanted to say that I see the Demon Slayer shirt and everything, and I'm just thinking, Christ. Because the last thing I went and saw in theaters was, the Infinity Castle myself, but this guy is... Yeah, I want to distance myself.
Victor, you around? Huh? You not ready for the girls, bitch? Huh? You fucking try me, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you. Do you understand me? Where the fuck is she?
Okay, so a couple of different things. We see him begin by asking, where is she? So he's obviously looking for someone, and again, based on his initial conversation, he was talking about a daughter, and in just a little bit when the police arrive, we're going to hear him say, hey, he's holding a girl in here. So there isn't confusion. He is taking these actions because he believes SA is happening. And granted, this is, again, probably a mix of mental health issues, the outcomes of conspiracy theories, paranoia. The other clue here is when he yells the name Victor. Now, Victor is the adversary to Harry Dresden in the cartoon that this guy has been watching.
Get the fuck out of my fucking house! You fucking shut up, you motherfucker! I won't say nothing to you, bitch! There's no fucking... You're a fucking liar! I can hear her! I can fucking hear her! Bitch! You son of a... Man, hurry the fuck up, because I'm gonna drag his ass out! I'm telling you! Who are you talking to, bitch? Who are you talking to, bro? Get the fuck, stand on the fucking ground! Who the fuck do you think you are? My name is Harry Dresden. Get the fuck out of my house! Why are you screaming at There's no one up there! Get the fuck out of my third room! Walk the fuck out! What's the third room? Walk the fuck out! I'm telling you, I'm giving you a chance right now, man! What's the third room? I'm giving you a fucking chance! Get the fuck out of my house! What's the third room, bro? I'm telling you, get the fuck out of my house! Please.
Okay, and so there we can hear it got very real. We hear a back and forth between the two of them. It sounds like blows were exchanged. The whole time, Harry Dresden is asking about what's in the third room. He wants to complete the search
Why are we giving him this, though? I doubt his real name is Harry Dresden.
of the house. Now, the homeowner here does the smart thing in getting in view of the camera. He knows the camera's there. He wants to document this. He doesn't know how this is going to end up. I'm sure the adrenaline has kicked in. Now, he's already called the police, and they're about to arrive. He also de-escalates the situation with a couple of questions. Let's take a look.
Just answer the question. Get the fuck out of my house! Answer the question, please. There's no one in there. There's 3 rooms, man. I don't know who you are. You better be street at 1797 Co-op Drive. I don't know who you're talking about, man. I know you're screaming. Are you military? Yes. Okay. Can you help me out? Okay. Yes.
That was a good potential theory because a lot of vets are suffering from PTSD. So that's, when we see hallucinations and delusions, it's also a good, guess. Just saying,
I understand what you're going through right now. Yes. Can you step outside? Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for asking. There's something going on this street, bro. Bro, everything's fine. Please step outside. Okay. Well, sit there. Sit on the ground, please. Yes, sir. Okay?
Okay, and so we see that the homeowner sees that there's the potential for this person to be former military and potentially experiencing PTSD.
Well, especially since he got the door open as quickly as he did when it was clearly an obstruction.
asking this guy if he was military, Harry here switches his brain. Either he was military or just asking him the question makes him believe he is, and at this point, he's ready to take orders. Now, this is when the police arrive, and if you listen closely, you can hear the homeowner talking about choking this guy out, kind of confessing, saying, hey, I had to choke him out, he was in my house. And then also you can hear Harry make the claim that he has a girl in the house. Let's take a look.
Don't do it. Sir, come here. Come here. Sir, come here. Okay. Yeah, choke him out, bro. How you doing? There's a little girl trapped in this house. You want to check for the police? Okay. You got gloves? Gloves. I'm calming down, man. That was a lot right there. Hit him head with a shovel, then so.
Hey, do fair.
What's up?
Stand ahead. Stand up and turn around.
Sure.
Don't move.
You want to take it from football?
Don't move.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, and so that was the very familiar sound of handcuffs being placed on his wrists. And now after that, you do see that the police search and see if there is actually someone there. But there's something we should take note of, something that Harry said to the homeowner right before the police arrived. He said, there's something going on this street. And so it's easy to try to oversimplify things. To just say, oh, this is a mental health issue. Or, oh, this is just another Pizzagate moment. But no, it's more complex than that. It's the emotional roller coaster that us as a society are going on. It's about the long-term effects of conspiracy theories. It's about America not having good healthcare options for its citizens and the mental health crisis that we're seeing starting to take even more form. And it's about the society we created where people would rather be checked out living in some alternate universe than exist in reality. And just like all of the other challenges we're facing, until we're honest about all of these things, until we look at the big picture, we're not going to be able to design a solution to fix it. But yeah, I'm sure just, electing an America First Nazi president is going to be fine. That would be a good next step.
The birds are eating my face. The birds are eating my face. The birds are eating my face.
Honestly, despite the fact that I'm laughing, I can see the seriousness of that situation. It's just a way of coping with the insanity on my part. That I don't know what to say to all of this, but it does raise a legitimate point that ultimately we have underfunded healthcare in this situation, and especially mental health and everything. It also speaks to the horror of the VA and the fact that many of our returning vets are suffering from PTSD, and the way that has been systematically undermined and everything, and that you've had a military that hasn't wanted to acknowledge the problem or pay for the long-term damages of these people who are literally seeing ghosts, and everything as a result of the post-traumatic stress that they've been going through. There's a lot of people that understand it. That's why the homeowner was immediately able to go there. But of course, I would be thinking schizophrenia myself, just hallucinations and that sort of thing. This person has lost touch with reality and everything, in a fundamental fashion. But yeah, by instinct, though, I last film I went to the theaters to see was, Infinity Castle, as part of the Demon Slayer mythos. So, I just wanted to say that because the guy had a Demon Slayer shirt on and everything, and yeah, I don't claim him. I think that the person is crashing out and a little bit less than fully sane. You know, I have to say though, I'm not particularly shocked that conspiracy theorists don't make the best decisions and you know, do crash out and go crazy sometimes. It's just I think this is the first time that I've seen, you know, seen it fully captured on camera. And yeah, we definitely need to do something about, you know, the mental health crisis that this, you know, and underfunding of all of it that has taken place. I mean, a lot of women have talked about how like men will do anything but go to therapy. Really, like the only reason why I haven't been back is just it's difficult to get in. You know, to find somebody trying to get back into new narrative, like, on the south, you know. But the problem with them is just that they're clean on the other side of town. You know, like I'd have to go all the way into Tigard, and that's, you know, a good 40-minute drive at the very least. You know, it's just well removed. I would like to be able to find somebody more close to home.